Here, it's more of a matte finish around the dock. Here, it's more of a glass finish around the dock. As I pull it down, the light refracts around the glass, and it's a beautiful animation, I must say, as it passes over the number over there. So if there's content going underneath it, you can see it basically just goes through. You can see through it. You can see what's behind it. iOS 26 is here, and in this video, I'm going to compare it to iOS 18. So let's begin. If you are looking for any iPhone accessories, then check out bestiPhoneaccessories.com. You're going to find the coolest cases, chargers, and anything that you might need for your iPhone. So check out bestiPhoneaccessories.com. That's bestiPhoneaccessories.com. So guys, it is a very interesting day because there has been a redesign in Apple's iOS ecosystem, or Apple's operating system ecosystem. iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, tvOS, and macOS has got a total new redesign. In this video, we're going to compare it to the iOS 18 version. So we'll see the subtle differences. What are the new things? What look the same? How is this liquid glass actually like compared to the old version? I'm gonna start off with the lock screen. So as you can see, the lock screen looks like this. There's a totally new design. We have a big clock over here, or an option for a big clock. And as you can see down here, the icons all have this liquid glass feeling to it. Now, if I go and open the phone, you can see that the icons have had a little bit of a redesign. Everything feels more glassy, feels more 3D, feels like a fresh coat of paint. Now, the first thing that comes to my eye is the new dock over here. Here, it's more of a matte finish around the dock. Here, it's more of a glass finish around the dock. And I must say, it looks quite nice. The search icon over here has had that refresh with the glass feeling, and all of the applications around have this light refraction that if you move your phone, actually the gyroscope inside takes that light refraction around the icon, so it looks like you're actually getting some light, like some physical light, bounced off from the applications. Now, the application icons have changed. The biggest change is the Photos app over here and the Clock app. The other ones look similar, but maybe a bit more saturated over here on iOS 26. The camera app looks like the old school camera app from iOS 6 era days. It's very skeuomorphic, it's very realistic. Everything feels a little bit more realistic, a little bit more glass. And I think that was Apple's point, because they did this redesign to actually get something new out from here. Now, if I pull down the notification center, you can see that here on iOS 26, as I pull it down, the light refracts around the glass, and it's a beautiful animation, I must say, as it passes over the number over there and all of the icons. It just morphs them into something. And when you pull it down, until you let go, it's actually overlaid on top of your icons, and it's very hard to read what's there. But the moment you let go, it goes into a totally new area. And you pull up and your icons come back. Over here, you just pulled it down and that's it. It didn't really do anything. It was just pulling a matte finish overlay onto your icons. Now let's go app by app. I'm going to start down here in the dock. So the phone application did get a huge upgrade. As you can see, there's a new design down here. Your calls, that means your missed calls, your recent calls, your favorites, and even for your voice messages and FaceTime messages are in this area altogether. You have these big contact posters for your contacts, your favorites. As you can see, previously it was all separated into different parts around here. You don't have this voicemail button over here anymore. It's all integrated into the calls. And if you switch, as you can see, you have this little animation, this glass animation that jumps around down there. Over here, it was nothing. It was just very static, all in all. Now, if I go into Safari, Safari has got a big upgrade as well. As you can see over here, you had this much of a space taking up the content of the website. Over here is just this, and the moment you start to scroll, it minimizes like a glass overlay, and it doesn't really disturb here. It also went down, but it covered the whole part of the bottom of the screen. On the top, it should be from basically all the way up to the top. because this website is actually, it is, as you can see, the content goes behind the menu bar up there. Over here, it doesn't, it just stays there, and that's it. Now, if you want to check out messages, that's very cool too. As you can see, messages in iOS 26 has a lot of upgrades. First of all, you have translation. So if you're talking to someone that's Spanish, French, German, Italian, then it's going to be able to translate that language immediately in messages. You can also put backgrounds, and you can also create polls, which is, I don't know, a very 2014 feature, but you have it. And I think this is a great time to talk about the redesigned keyboard as well. You can see it's very straight lines over here. Here it's curved. It's kind of like a glass panel floating above your content. It's very nice. The font is a little bit thicker around here. So all in all, I think it's a great upgrade, and it's very good to type on. So I have no complaints about that. The music app also got a redesign. And as you can see, the new splash screens are different as well. They're rounded in the corners. The buttons are more rounded. Everything is basically the diameter that is your phone. So it fits perfectly. Now, I'm just going to go continue over here to jump into the music app. You can see we're in the music app, and this panel down here is a glass panel. So if there's content going underneath it, you can see it basically just goes through. You can see through it. You can see what's behind it. It's a very nice design, a bit hard to read, I must say, but still nice. This is the old version. This is the new version. Another thing is, if you have live artwork, it's gonna play that on your lock screen from now on. If we go into FaceTime, in FaceTime, it's really cool because you get suggested posters up here. And if you have like voice messages or video messages, it's going to be able to show over here, and you can play them. You can create a new call from here. You have your suggested or your favorites up here. And it's a very different vibe to it, all in all. The calendar did not change much apart from the buttons. Everything, all the buttons are now separated, floating above, and this was more static, more minimalist. This is this new glass design. It's very similar to the Aqua design from early Mac days. In the Photos application, now, while here in iOS 18, we had the complicated version of having your library on top, and then you scroll down, and then you had all your collections and everything that you needed. Here you can have your library and you can have your collections. So it's separated. I think it's a much better way to do it. And you have search right down here. Very easy to search, very easy to do things. I think the Photos app is great too, and you can see the glass elements up here as well. The camera app got a major redesign. As you can see, it's super simple now down here. The two options that interest you the most, video and photo, are very easy to click. Video, photo, well, you could do that here previously. It's much nicer down here. And if you need something else, you just swipe your finger. You can go time-lapse, slow-mo, cinematic, video, photo, and then portrait, and then panorama. So these are your options. Now there's some new tips and tricks over here. Is if you swipe up, as you can see, you get this whole new control center down here where you can change your live photo, your timer, your filter. All of this previously, you needed to tap here, and that's how you accessed it. Or you just swiped up over here, and that's how the access was to it. Now, you can do it from here too, so it brings it out. You have a specific button for it. What we didn't have previously is the format modes. So if I'm in video and I want to change my format to, let's say, HD 24, then I can do that, or ProRes, or whatever. I can do with a tap of a button. It's very useful. Mail has some redesigns as well. As you can see, everything is a bit nicer, a bit cleaned up, a bit smaller icons up here. And all in all, it just looks, I think, very clean and very nice, with the search bar down here on the bottom, so you can immediately search for an email. You can filter. All of these were very hidden features down here, as you can see. And the compose button is down there as well. Then we go to notes. Notes, great upgrade in my opinion. You have this bar. You can swipe on this bar. Previously, you couldn't do that. You could either close the bar or open the bar. Here now you have all of your settings immediately available to you. And the new keyboard, I think, is a lot better than the old one with the rounded edges. App Reminders app got a little bit more colorful, as you can see. And you have the glass icon down here, the glass up there, and a little bit bolder, a little bit thicker for all the lists that you have. If you want to add a new reminder, then this is the sheet over here. This is how it looked. It looked a lot more square. I think this new design fits the iPhone a lot better. Now, the clock application got one major update, apart from the new bar here on the bottom, is that if you set up a new alarm, so you click on the plus icon, as you can see, we have a snooze duration. Now you can set your snooze duration to whatever you want. I think it's a very, very good feature, and a lot of people will use it, including me. News application also got more rounder. Just check out the corners over here. The buttons are a little bit bigger, so they're easier to tap. All of the pictures are basically more round than before. And you have the news over here, and here you can search for all the other channels and topics that you might need. So the following button has been changed, and as you tap on something down here, it expands to News Plus and Sports and whatever you might need. Apple TV, major redesign. As you can see, this is the old Apple TV and this is the new Apple TV. It looks a lot better with actual posters, like movie posters. Instead of the 16:9, you get this 9:16 view, and it's easier to scroll between the content. I think you can fit more movies in one page than before. The Podcasts app is also updated, but not that much. This glass panel down here, I think, is the biggest thing that changed in this application. And the App Store, well, apart from the menu bar down here, nothing much has changed. The Maps application got a lot cleaner. So you have a download button or a flyover button. If you want directions to a place, well, then you have the button down here. So you click and then it calculates the direction if you would like to do that. Over here, the directions were there. It's a lot more condensed. It's, as you can see here on the bottom, it's blurry because that's where the menu bar is. So the whole thing, I think, is pretty awesome. Health application, not much has changed other than the rounded corners, as you can see, and the menu bar again. So everything is more consistent. In the wallet application, you can see your cards. This is how they look. They is very similar apart from up here, the minor change that we see. The settings application has got the overhaul as well. More rounded corners, more glass vibes. The icons represent the icons that are actually on your phone. So they all have the new icons. If I go into iOS 18 over here, you can see they're still showing all the old icons. The new icons here you can see a lot better. And you have the search bar down on the bottom instead of on the top. If we go on to weather, well, weather is weather. Not much has changed, again, apart from this menu bar. You see how consistent it is. All of the applications have a bottom menu bar that you can tap and you can see, and you can switch like you usually did, but everything is more consistent with each and every application. In stocks, apart from the new icon, and this is how the splash screen looks like, we say okay. Now you see this is more of a glass. You can see behind the glass a lot better on this this card up here. Here it was totally matte. You couldn't see through it. Here you can. And if I go add something or search for something, it's a lot easier. You have the magnifier up there and you can search. I think it's great. Again, Find My has got the same update. You have the new glass panel over here. You can see everything that's happening underneath it. While you could previously too, but it was a lot more matte. The rounded icons and buttons, and it's just a lot more cleaner down here. And if you minimize it, it goes down like that. If you minimize over here, it slides down, so it takes up a lot less space than before when you're looking around. Home application, not really a big upgrade. It looks very similar apart from the menu button down here on the bottom. Books also the same, I can say, is the menu button is the thing that changed. So old one and the new one, but other than that, maybe your profile picture is a little bit bigger and that's it. And iTunes Store, well, that's a very legacy software. They didn't even bother to change the menu bar down here. As you can see, everything looks very similar and the same. I don't know how much time iTunes store has on our phones, but it's totally not updated. Everything is as it was before. The fitness application, new buttons, and you have basically everything except this bottom part over here is the same. The time changed, so you have Tuesday, June 10 up there. You have it below on your summary, and then you can look around and see everything just like you did before. The watch application, the icon changed. The watch is a lot bigger here. It's more glass-like, and the new menu down here. Contact, well, that's part of the phone as well. So it's the same overhaul. You have a search, you have an add a contact instead of up here. It was very, very difficult to do these kind of things. Now with this one, it's new and nice. Files application is a great application. Now you have a lot more things to do in the Files application. If you go and, for example, want to open this picture, but you have a specific app you want to open it with, you can open with and then choose the application. Previously, you couldn't really do that. This was the menu options for you, and these are the new menu options. I think a lot of people will be very happy with these options. Now, you can color code your files, and you can customize them, and you can add icons to them. It's just overall a great upgrade. Translate also became translucent icon, and you have more options with Translate. Like, for example, in messages, you can translate incoming messages immediately, automatically, and you don't even need to click on anything. The tab bar changed. Another thing is when you're having a conversation, now you have two microphones. So if you're translating between Spanish and English, you know which one to push when the other person is actually doing it. So I think that's a great addition to Translate. If we go into the Utilities app and we go to voice memos, very similar, a little bit more cleaner. But it's generally the same. The compass has got an upgrade in the icon, but other than that, it's very, very similar. The measure app is just the measure app with new redefined iconography down here, and you can see how the glass actually goes between the two options. So it's pretty cool. Magnifier is also very similar, very, very similar, apart from rounded corners and an overlaid glass. If I go into Calculator, there's a really cool thing in Calculator that I saw is if I use Calculator, you see this is a very matte button push over here. But if I click over here, you can see how the orange icon and the gray icon actually touch each other when I push on it. So they grow and they touch each other and they light up. You can see over here. I'll try to push it so my finger's not in the way. They touch and interact with each other. They're super fluid. That's why they're calling it liquid glass, because it's actually liquefying how you look at these kind of things. The Shortcuts app is very, very powerful now. You have a lot more options, especially on macOS, and I'll get into details in another video. And there's a new icon for the Passwords app, which, as you can see, this is how the notifications on your phone show up now. So it's not as hard to confuse the buttons. You have a separate blue button, gray button, rounded edges. It's overall really, really cool. Freeform, not much to change in Freeform, apart from, again, everything came down here. Easy to tap, easy to search, easy to create a new document. It got removed from up there on the top. I think it's a great addition. The Journal app, very similar things happening in the Journal app. As you can see, a plus button down here. It's consistent all over. And yeah, this is how it looks. Tips, well, tips are super boring, but here you go. This is iOS 18 tips, iOS 26 tips. It's very weird to say iOS 26 is a games application where you can see all your games that you've downloaded before. And this is how it looks. You can go to home. This is where all of the games are showcased that you can download. Games that are top played, games that are great for multiplayer, and this has the liquid menu bar over here too. I think it's fantastic. And in the library, you can see all of the applications or all the games that you've downloaded since you had an iPhone. So you can go back super far. 16 years ago was my first iPhone, is when I started downloading games. Here are the games that I used to play back then. And finally, a new application is Preview. preview basically is the same as on a Mac. If you open any PDF document, you can edit it, you can customize it, you can do whatever you want. You can sign PDFs very easily, you can annotate, so it's a really useful app. And if I go finally over here, as you can see, the app library has got the glass remake as well, and as you're scrolling, you can see all of that green folders basically refracting the light around it. This just let through the light, it's very matte. Over here, it's refracting it. Now, one other thing is if we go to a folder, you can see the folders are very glass-like over here too. It's a big difference. It's a bit, I don't know, might be a bit hard to see with just the glass. I think they should put a little bit more blur behind it. It would look better, but it's still nice. It's very nice, it's crisp, it's cool. And finally, here you go. This is how Control Center looks now. This is a mess. This they have to fix because it's too much coming through and it gets very, very busy. It's very disorienting when you're trying to tap on these buttons or find what you want. I think this version was better than the new version. So all in all, iOS 18 versus iOS 26. What do you guys think? Hit me down in the comment section below. And until my next video, stay safe and hang loose.